So here's what we're going to do to define the scope. First, we're going to clarify the project objectives. In other words, we're going to make sure with all our stakeholders and our team members that we understand all the objectives of this project. Secondly, we're going to list potential deliverables. In other words, we're going to make a list of what the deliverables are that we think would be in this project. Then we're going to work with our stakeholders on that list of deliverables and make sure that everybody's in agreement that that is the list of deliverables. Can you tell me, why would we run into trouble here? Why is it important at this point to get stakeholder input?
So you don't miss anything.
So you don't miss anything. So you don't miss anything, especially that might be important to a critical stakeholder, right? And that's actually easy to do, missing something. Why else?
Well, I think also so that, say you're building a house and there's the homeowner, he's talking with you, he says, I want this, this, and this. If he comes in and says what he wants, you've got his commitment and agreement, whereas later he comes in and goes, well, I wanted that in blue, and how about wallpaper here? And then you've got your scope creep going when he starts coming in on the job site and rearranging things.
Sure. The construction industry has mastered this topic of scope creep like no other industry. IT wishes they could master it the way construction has. What they do is when you're building a house, you list everything that's in, right? And if it doesn't say fireplace, there's not a fireplace. The fireplace is the $3,000 add-on you didn't buy. And so by having this step in here, not only do we make sure we're not missing something that should be in there, but we're making sure we have concrete agreement on that list with the stakeholders so that what I, as the project manager, thinks is in is also what the stakeholders think is in. Yeah. So we need to make sure that especially the stakeholders who are negative stakeholders in a corporate environment, that we've touched base with them with this list, because if they get surprised later on, that's not a good thing. That's why that's critical. And then we clearly state the scope, and we clearly establish project boundaries. So we say this is in scope, and we say, by the way, this is not of scope. This is out of scope. We don't try to play it too cute with our negative stakeholders by leaving things out and hope they won't notice. That's a recipe for disaster. We try to concretely say, look, this is what's out of scope. We didn't have money to do these features in this software. And we make sure everybody understands that so there aren't questions later on. And out of these come the baseline scope statement. It's called the baseline scope statement because this is the scope statement we're starting with. And we're going to start the project on that, and then we're going to use a change management process to make whatever changes to that baseline occur.